Let's go. Welcome back into the Squishy Sport Podcast in the Redzone Report for Week 18. Holy dooly, we've made it to the last week of the regular season. Inaugural year of the Redzone Report. Cannot thank you enough for tuning in every single week. It's been 18. Feels like it's gone so bloody quickly, but I feel like every NFL season does. But it honestly feels like a few weeks ago, I was like looking at doing this for week one and talking about this for week one. So it's just unbelievable how literally quick the season goes. 18 weeks. Can't believe it's been 17 times now. Coming up, it's going to be 18 times coming up this Monday that I've woken up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. to watch NFL Red Zone and watch the NFL. But we've made it to the last week and we've got 12 teams locked in for the playoffs. There is one spot left in the NFC and the AFC. NFC South Division title and the AFC North Division title. So we're going to be between the Buccaneers and my Panthers, or we're looking at the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC North Division title. They face off against each other this week. I'll have a best bet for one of those games there, so stay tuned for that one. But if we look at how we went last week, we did have a losing week. We did go 3-3 on our best bets. We did go, I think we went, what was it, 2-0. 2-0, yeah, 2-0 on our best bets on the Monday slate, which we badly needed because we went 0-2 on those two Sunday games, which sucked. And then I believe we went 1-1 on the Christmas day. The Vikings winning in an upset, which killed us. Props did go 2-4. Went 0-3 on props on Christmas day, which was a shame. And we honestly went 2-0 on the props on Monday, but Jalen Waddle went off with a hip injury. 0 yards for that one, so maybe it depends on the bookie. Maybe you got your money back. Not sure about that one. We're still killing it in props, though, right? Let's not get this tied up anywhere. Still 68% clip on player props in the last 10 weeks on the Redzone Report. 68%, which is pretty darn incredible, I think. But Redzone Report, if you're new here, obviously make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like this video as well. If you found some picks for NFL Week 18, let me know who you think is going to win out of the Buccaneers, Panthers, and then the Ravens and the Steelers. Hope it's going to be my Panthers really, really badly. But I said, if you are new to the show here, we do cover our best bets for the week. So usually I have 5 or 6. I've got 7 for you this week. 7 bangers, and it's a kind of a hard week as well. A lot of backup quarterbacks playing, a lot of big favorites. A lot of teams are pretty much halfway to Cancun, or maybe even 3/4 of the way there. Going through our rapid rundown. So the rapid rundown, I cover the other 9 games of the week this week, giving you my lean for those games. Just not a big enough lean for me to quite get to the window. Going through our player props. I've got 6 for you this week, but holy dooly, because of all the incentives and we don't know who's sort of starting at quarterback for a lot of teams. There's not a lot of player props out, but I still managed to find 6 here. Hopefully they come through. Going through our NFL SuperCoach update. The last week, I do have 0 trades, but letting you know who is getting traded in and out this week for the last week. And to top it all off, of course, our multi for the week. Our 2 multis. 1 leg. First one is 5 legs. Pays pretty good. And then finishing off with a Hail Mary. 3 players to score 2+ touchdowns. Alrighty, let's get straight into it. We're going to generally start from the top of the order in numerical order. So we're going to start with the first game of the week, and it's featuring, as I said, my Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Pretty much almost a win and get in. Bucks win. And the Saints beat the Falcons, then the Panthers are in. If the Bucks win and the Falcons beat the Saints, then the Panthers are in. Panthers win, they're straight in. So the Panthers do definitely have the advantage, although they are underdogs in this game. This is the Sunday morning game at 7:30 here in Australia. And the Buccaneers are a 3-point favorite, total of 44. We're seeing a tiny bit of movement to the under and also some Panthers money, which... not biased at all. I do agree with this. I'm not sure why Tampa Bay are favorites in this game here. By 3, I guess. Yeah, you can equate for home field. Maybe 1.5, I guess, for Tampa Bay home field. Feel like it's not a strong home field. You're telling me Tampa Bay is still 1.5 to 2 points better than this Panthers team at the moment? I don't buy that one bit. This Tampa Bay team is falling down a whole bunch of stairs. I think they've lost their last 6 out of 7. And that one win was against Arizona, which is by 3 points. It's been very, very poor performances by Baker and the team there. Now they're gone as favorites coming into this game. I just don't quite get it. And I get it. My Panthers, they lost, the last 2. I think they lost against the Saints and then lost against Seattle last week. I think we've got the better defense here. In this sort of situation, I want to be backing the better defense. I think JC Horn, he's going to be on Mike Evans in this game. I think the rest of the defense can be able to contain Ibuka and Chris Goldman as well. Then you're relying on this Tampa Bay defense to contain like McMillan, Jalen Coker, Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle as well. I think take the +3 of the Panthers, but honestly, I do think we win this game. I think we are the better team here, and I just think we're getting a lot of value being here as underdogs. So give me Panthers +3, #keep pounding, baby. Come on, Panthers. Let's do this. Let's get into the wild card. Let's host a wild card game. That would be absolutely epic. All right, moving on to the Monday morning games here. So I do not have a bet for the San Fran and Seattle game. I do have a lean to the over, which you'll hear about later. But we're going to go to the Colts and the Texans game. This is in the first slate here. Texans are a 10-point favorite in this one, total of 39. This did open up as a 7.5-point favorite. Total hasn't moved too much, and we hear pretty much today that Riley Leonard, the rookie for the Colts, will be starting for this game ahead of Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers come in for 3 games, done whatever he needs to do, didn't win a game for the Colts. Colts are eliminated from playoff contention. There's no real point trying to slog Phillip Rivers out there, get the rookie in. But now you've got the rookie coming in for pretty much his starting debut on the road in a division game against this Texans defense. Oh my goodness me. How is he going to survive? Texans defense, literally top 5 in the league, if not the best in the league for me. It just screams of when Max Brosman went to Seattle, was it 4 or 5 weeks ago on debut and just got absolutely trounced. How are Indianapolis scoring in this game? I just don't know. And you're probably thinking, but he's a rookie. You've never seen him play. Mate, if we're talking about Phillip Rivers gets the call up at 44 years old to come in and that same week starts a game for the Colts on the road, you know that this Riley Leonard cannot be that great. And they're obviously giving him a go because the last week of the season, they cannot make the playoffs. Texans -10. Honestly, Texans may just have to score 13 points in this game to cover. Well, it could be 11-0. It could be 13-0. I just don't see how the Colts are scoring. And I've been a big critical guy of the Texans offense lately. And honestly, they're going to make the playoffs. But if Jacksonville somehow slip up against the Titans and the Texans do win this game, Texans actually win the division here. So they'll be focused. It's obviously a division game. They'll be up for it. They'll want to have some good form heading into the playoffs. Texans should absolutely kill the Colts here, in my opinion, against a quarterback on debut on the road. Just screams trouble for the Colts, in my opinion. Texans -10, lay the points. Moving on to the next game, still in the first slate, we're going to go to the other NFC South matchup, and that is the Indianapolis Colts and the Atlanta Falcons here. Falcons coming off that big upset win against the Rams on Monday Night Football on primetime, and it feels like they've had their one big win now to finish the season. And Saints have won 4 in a row now. They're 2-10, now 6-10. You could argue they're probably the form team of the NFC South at the moment, which is pretty sad to hear for I guess my team and other teams in the NFC South. And I get it, Falcons off that big win. But they've got to be feeling like they've just had their one big last effort. I think the Saints will want to finish on a high here. I backed them last week against Tennessee, -2.5. Scratchy first half, but got the cover there in the end, 34-26, I believe. And now I just think they're going to come in with a whole bunch of confidence. This is now coming in closer to 3 as I actually record this. Why are Atlanta favorites? Why are Atlanta favorites in this game? I'm not quite sure. Atlanta on a short week, as I said, they had their big win against the Rams there on Monday Night Football in front of everyone. Now they've gone back to the first slate. What motivation are they gonna have? They've had their big efforts. I just don't see it, and I think the Saints are full of pride at the moment. They'll want to finish on a high. Tyler Shuck spoke about last week going for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Plays a solid game here. He'll win this. I think Saints go out and win this game, which sucks for my Panthers if we do lose to the Bucks, but I'd love nothing more for Atlanta to win. But I've got to put my thinking cap on here. I think the Saints are the better team here, and we're getting plus 3.5 here. Saints plus 3.5. Sprinkle on that money line. I do think Saints win this game. Fourth one for the Redzone Report, and these are all pretty much division games. Generally division games in Week 18. Arizona Cardinals and the LA Rams in the second slate here. Rams are a 7-point favorite here, total of 46. We have seen a bit of Rams Arizona money, which I find super interesting considering Arizona is pretty terrible. They've lost 8 in a row now since Jacoby Brissett has been named as starter. Rams lost 3 of the last 5, but this just seems like a get-right spot against a bad defense. Arizona and LA played in Arizona, I believe it was like 5, maybe 6 weeks ago. LA absolutely pounded them. I think it was 45-17. We were on LA for that game as well. Going to go back to the well. Rams team total over 27.5. I just don't see how Arizona is stopping this team. There's no weather impact at all. Both indoor stadiums. Indoor stadium in LA. LA, it seems like a get-right spot for in this one here. They shouldn't be flat. They got embarrassed on primetime, losing. They're down 21-0, down 24-3. Now you're getting one of the division rivals at home. It screams of a get-right spot. It just screams of a smash spot to put some notice back on the league, I guess, heading back into the playoffs. I think Rams should easily be able to score 4 touchdowns in this game. I just don't see a world where they don't. So, yeah, give me Rams team total over 27.5. They should be able to score 30 quite easily, I think, in this game, and they did it last time they played them. Arizona, they're not going to have much motivation to play defense in this last week. You can lay the 7, but this could be like a 31 to 27 or something. It could be tight, but Rams should be able to easily stroll down the field in this one here. All right. 3 to go for your best bets. The next one is Detroit at the Chicago Bears. Bears off that holy dooly shootout on Sunday Night Football against the Niners, losing that one 42-38. Detroit Lions getting embarrassed on Christmas Day against Max Brosma. The Bears are a 3-point favorite in this one here. I'd love to know what the look-ahead was at preseason for this one. Detroit would have been favorites easily. Total of 50.5 in this one here. You're looking at 2 pretty bad defenses in this one here. Chicago just let up 42 points. Their offense is cooking. Their defense is not. Detroit, we know on their good day their offense is cooking, but their defense is absolute crap. And you're probably thinking, the Vikings only scored 20 points last week? Vikings looked horrible on offense, I thought. They looked awful. Max Brosma did nothing. I think it's more down to the quality of Max Brosma and their offense compared to, they still scored 20-23. Lions should be able to score plenty, I think. Should be able to score their fair share. I'm not actually sure who wins this game. I don't know if Lions have any motivation left, or if Chicago want to put their foot down coming into playoffs. I think this game goes way over. Good weather in Chicago, shouldn't be too cold. This game should go way over, in my opinion. Like I said, Chicago coming off conceding 42 points, but scoring 38 themselves. I compare that Detroit defense to San Francisco's. Now you're getting a Detroit offense who have just had 2 pretty lackluster games recently against Steelers and the Vikings. Now coming to the division rival, you've got Dan Campbell up against his former offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson. He'll want to pull out all the stops here in this one to score some points. We know when these two teams played in Week 2, Detroit off the Week 1 loss, Detroit put 50 on them. 50. You think that's just going to stop overnight? Like they're going to be able to improve that for the next game they play? I don't think so. It's a big statement game for Ben Johnson for sure against his former coach. But yeah, I think this goes way over. Over 50.5 here with the Lions and the Bears. Next one here, we're getting pretty square here, but it's just that time of the year, baby. Washington and the Eagles also in the second slate. Eagles are a 7-point favorite, total of 41.5. Line hasn't moved too much in this one here. This line would maybe indicate the Eagles are potentially resting, or I don't think Kenny Pickett will be starting. I think Jalen Hurts will be starting. But if you looked at how the Eagles played last week, they were pretty darn horrible, I thought, against the Bills. I think it's definitely a get-right spot again, kind of like the Rams. In the Eagles and Commanders played 2 or 3 weeks ago. Eagles won that one pretty convincingly by, I think it was 12 in the end, but they were up by 19 at one stage. So they won it pretty easily. They were able to go down the field pretty easily, score 29 points. And this Philly defense is still looking pretty darn good. And honestly, that Bills pass defense is pretty good. Jalen Hurts didn't even have a passing yard in the second half. He want to prove his point here. Absolutely happy to lay Philly minus a 7 here. Washington on the road in Philadelphia, one of the hardest road trips in the NFL. Now you got the Eagles coming off that big win, but against a division rival at home, they should be able to stroll down the field nice and easy. Eagles minus a 7. Fly, Eagles, fly. Cover, Eagles, cover. That's your 6-1 there. Moving on to the last one there. Getting square once again. Jets and the Bills here. Monday morning, 7 a.m. Bills are a 7-point favorite here. Total of 38.5. This line would indicate to me that potentially Josh Allen is not starting. We haven't heard anything, but this line is indicating dropping from 11.5 to 7. That maybe Josh Allen is not starting in this game here. Just seems way too short of a line. Josh Allen is starting. However, I'll have to actually, I think it's Mitch Trubisky is the backup there for the Buffalo Bills. If he is starting, I like the Bills no matter what. They lost against Philly last week. They nearly won in that last second there. This Jets team had the worst December in NFL history. Worst December in NFL history. Now they've got to go to Buffalo. What in the hell? How? I just don't see it. I just don't see how Jets keep this within 7. I just don't. The Jets are awful. They're going for a good draft pick. It's the last game at the Bills' home stadium before they move to the new one next season. I think the Bills absolutely trounce them here. Absolutely trounce them. They trounced them in week 2. They should have no problems here. Just run the damn ball with James Cook. The defense should be fine against this Jets offense. The Bills should be able to smash them here. If Mitch Trubisky is starting, they shouldn't have to do anything with him. Just run the goddamn football. Bills minus 7. Bills Mafia. Come on, baby. Bills minus the 7. All right, that is your 7 best bets for the Red Zone Report. I say usually I have 5 or 6, but I put 7 for you this week. I was tossing up which one to take out of there to make it 6. I just like them all pretty much, so I was like, fuck it, let's chuck them all in there. But let's move on to the Rapid Rundown. And the Rapid Rundown obviously going to be a bit shorter this week because we've only got 9 other games to cover in the Rapid Rundown compared to 10 or 11. Rapid Rundown, I go through the other 9 games pretty much quickly as possible, giving you my lean or no lean for the game here. So, Rapid Rundown, less than 2 minutes. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Browns at the Bengals. Bengals 7.5 point favorite, total of 44.5. Lean the over here in this one here. Dallas at the Giants, who are 3.5 point home dog, total of 51.5. Lean the Giants, also lean the over. We've got the Titans at the Jaguars, who are 12.5 point favorite, total of 47.5. Jags all pass for me. Just don't see how Tennessee stay in this one here. Green Bay at Minnesota. Minnesota 6.5 point favorite, total of 36.5. You've got Max Brosma against Clayton Tune. Yes, Clayton Tune, the third string quarterback for Green Bay here. I lean a contrarian over. These two defenses aren't that good. Lean the over here. We've got Chargers at the Denver Broncos, who are 12.5 point favorite, total of 37.5. Herbie is getting rested. Justin Herbert will not play. Trey Lance will start in this one. Lean Denver, playing for the number 1 seed here. We've got Chiefs at the Raiders, who are 5.5 point home dog, total of 36.5. Do lean the Chiefs here in this one. Raiders just lose and they get the number 1 draft pick. Dolphins at the Patriots, who are 10.5 point favorite, total of 45.5. Do lean the Patriots here in this one. Miami going too cold. Patriots potentially playing for the number 1 seed. Patriots should absolutely steamroll them. And we've got the Ravens and the Steelers, the other game of the week. Steelers are a 3.5 point dog, total of 40.5. Do lean the Steelers. This just screams of a Mike Tomlin spot. Underdog spot at home to get into the playoffs. John Harbaugh, I think he's on the way out of the Ravens here, and I think this loss will easily kick him out. He doesn't deserve to make the playoffs. I think the Steelers have been good enough to make the playoffs this year. Potentially TJ Watt may be back for this game. Just screams of a coaching game between Tomlin and Harbaugh. I'll take Tomlin here. Cover the 3.5. Probably get the win there as well. There's your Red Zone Report. Obviously, no buys. Every single team played in the last week, week 18 of the NFL. All right, let's move into some player props. As I said, I literally had 3 or 4 games to choose player props from. So there is a couple games here there that I think there's one game here where there's multiple picks in the one game, which is fine. But we've got 6 picks across 5 games here. I think they're all bangers. We know how we roll here. Still continuing the good form. Let's bounce back. Let's go 6-0 here. First one here is JSN, Smith and Jigba, over 100.5 receiving yards. Went for about 120 receiving yards here in week 1 against San Fran. And he's gone under this the last 2 games, but he's looking like a bounce back game. The San Fran defense is awful. Luther Burden went for 130 yards against this defense. Now you got the best wide receiver coming in against a pretty low game against JC Horn, who was marking him last week against the Panthers. Now you've got a bad San Fran defense in a must-win game. I think Darnold should be able to feed Smith and Jigba all game. He should go well over 100 here. Give me JSN over 100.5. We got Ricky Pearsall in the same game as well to go over 44.5 receiving yards in this one here. Had very decent performances the last 2 games. I think going for 90 yards and about 85 in the last 2 weeks. Had over 100 in week 1 against the Seattle defense. I think if San Fran are in a position where they are behind in this game, going to have to throw it. They're going to have to throw it to their main guy. I think the main guy in this team is Ricky Pearsall, the wide receiver 1, over a guy like Jawan Jennings or George Kittle. So give me Pearsall over 44.5 receiving yards. We've got my boy, Tedorola McMillan, over 58.5 receiving yards here. Went over this number a couple weeks ago against the Buccaneers. He's going for Offensive Rookie of the Year as well. I know that won't be on his mind, but Bryce Young's got to find his guy in this match here. I don't know how much we'll run the ball really in this one. If we're behind early, got to pass it to your main guy, man. McMillan over 58.5 receiving yards. We've got the rookie Riley Leonard under 173.5 pass yards. Again, he may be in a come from behind situation, but what's he going to do in this game? What's he going to do against this Texans defense? A rookie quarterback on the road against the Texans. I just don't see it. Riley Leonard under 173.5 pass yards. We've got Jared Goff to go over 256.5 pass yards here. I think he goes way over this number. Way over this number. We saw the Bears secondary get absolutely slaughtered last week. That's not going to change overnight or improve overnight. Now you've got, I said, Dan Campbell coming up, his former offensive coordinator. He'll want to pull out moves, all these pass moves, get it to his main man, St. Brown, maybe even Isaac Tesla or Jameson Williams. Goff should go way over this number, I think, over 256.5 pass yards. And to finish it off, we've got Jaylen Warren over 48.5 rush yards. The Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell combo 2-3 weeks ago against the Ravens combined for like 30 rush yards. This now screams of a Tomlin run the goddamn ball situation. If they in a somewhat tied or leading, they should be absolutely running the ball against the Ravens here. I get it. Aaron Rodgers tore up the secondary last time they played. Just screams of a game where Jaylen Warren gets the run game going for them. So I'll take him over 48.5 rush yards. All right, there are your 6 player props for the Red Zone Report. As I said, very limited choice for me this week because a lot of the slate is out in regards to player props. Done my best, but I'm pretty confident they will go all right. Let's move on to a quick bit of SuperCoach chat. I won't be having any trades. It's literally the last week of trading. So a little update for you. I scored 515 last week. So 3 weeks in a row now, we're seeing green arrows up 350 spots. So just outside the top 3K. We are now in the top 9%. Thank goodness for that. Last week, I ended up using my last 3 trades and my last boost to get Olave, Stafford, and Bayshell Tootin in. For AJ Brown, Lamar Jackson, and Quinshon Judkins. Looks like it worked out. I ended up captaining Stafford. I wish I captained Drake May. That's a little bit annoying. If we look at the top 3 trade-in players this week, it is Chris Olave, Stephon Diggs, who is in a bit of trouble at the moment, and Drake May. If you look at top 3 trade-out, we're looking at Rashee Rice, who is, not going to do well, Brock Bowers, who is out, and Lamar Jackson, who I can understand. So for me, no trades left, so I can't do anything this week. I'm going to vice-captain CMC against Seattle, and I'm going to captain Drake May against Miami, going for the MVP. All right, let's move into our multi for the week. Making some good time here, streaming along on New Year's Eve here when I'm recording. Multi for the week, 5 legs, paying good amount of dollars here. Generally reflects the picks that I've given out during the Redzone Report as well. We have hit 2 of those at pretty good odds this year as well, which has definitely covered the season's expenses, which is cool. So 5 legs, let's go. We've got McMillan to go 70 plus receiving yards. We've got JSN to go 110 plus receiving yards. Saints on the money line. We've got Texans minus a 10, and we've got Jared Goff to throw for 300 plus pass yards. That leg pays a good amount. This pays $89 altogether. $10 pays $890, baby. That would be a cracking way to start the new year. Absolute cracker. Let's do it, baby. And to finish it off, how could we forget a Hail Mary? We have not hit one of these this year. However, these always pay mega odds, right? They're not meant to hit every week, but 3 guys to score 2+ touchdowns is the Hail Mary. This week, again, limited choices with my touchdown scorers, but I've got 3 guys here. I'm going to go Zach Charbonnet. I'm going to go out on a win. Isaac Tesla usually scores 1. I think he finishes the season with 2. And then I'm going to go Jalen Warren to run in 2. Altogether, this pays $3,757 to 1. $10 on this pays $37,570. How bloody good. I'm excited. Again, that would be an elite way to start the year. Absolutely elite way. Let's do it, baby. Let's do a recap of the Redzone Report. Last week of the regular season, baby. Coming in hot. We've got the Panthers plus the 3. We've got Texans minus 10. We've got Saints plus 3.5. We've got Rams team total over 27.5. We have got the Lions and the Bears over 50.5. We have got Eagles minus the 7 and Bills minus the 7. Our player props for the week, we've got JSN to go over 100.5 receiving yards, Ricky Pearsall to go over 44.5 receiving yards, Tedero McMillan to go over 58.5 receiving yards, Riley Leonard to go under 173.5 pass yards, Jared Goff to go over 256.5 pass yards, and Jalen Warren to go over 48.5 rush yards here. Our multi for the week, 5 legs, is McMillan 70 plus receiving yards, JSN 110 plus receiving yards, Saints on the money line, Texans minus 10, and Jared Goff to throw for 300 plus pass yards. Pays $89 to 1. $10 pays $890 here. Our Hail Mary to finish off the year. Zach Charbonnet for 2. Isaac Tesla for 2. And Jalen Warren for 2 touchdowns. Altogether pays a whopping $3,757. $10 on this returns a nice cool $37,570. Would buy me a new car. How bloody good. Let's do it, baby. I cannot wait. Week 18, the last week of NFL Red Zone. Make sure you soak it all up. We don't get it for another 170 days or something absurd like that. Maybe in 200 days. Cannot wait. I will still be here for the playoffs. I will be here next week for the wild card preview. We will have 6 games on the board next week. 3 games in the NFC, 3 games in the AFC. Cannot bloody wait. As said at the start, make sure you give this a massive like and a subscribe to the channel as well. Make sure you're following on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so you get the notification when these podcasts do come out every single Thursday morning for you, straight out hot out of the oven. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure to follow all my socials, all at Squishy Sports, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next week for the wildcard round. And cheers.